Hi, BookTube, it's Lori, and welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. Today is Throwback Thursday, and I can't believe I haven't done this author before because she is one of my all-time favorites. But there's a reason why it's come up, and that's why I've chosen it for today. And that author is Diana Gabaldon. I began reading Outlander when I went back to college. When I moved here, my sister recommended it. So it would have been sometime after 92 or maybe 94 or so. She recommended it, and there were several out, and she'd read a couple of them, but she loved them so much that she was afraid if she recommended them to me and I didn't love them, that she would just be devastated. So she waited a bit. And so by the time I picked up Outlander, Dragonfly Amber and Voyager were already released. So I'm going to show them to you in order, but this is my original copy of Outlander that actually survived Katrina because I was rereading it at the time. And I don't think this is a book club edition. I think I bought this in a used bookstore, actually. So I have all of them in hardback. Gosh, it's not a great, yeah, I think I got this in a used bookstore because I've just really loved it and cherished it enough. This is the first one in this series. This is an old cover, and it is the story of a British woman named Claire Randall, who at the end of World War II is reunited with her husband, Frank Randall. She's a nurse, and he has some sort of position in the war, and they of course were separated in different places, and when they came back together, they decided to have a little honeymoon in Scotland in the Highlands because he wanted to research his family genealogy, and there was a vicar there who had a lot of information about his ancestors, and he wanted to meet with him. So they went away for a little getaway. And while he was kind of researching all of this, Claire had some pretty interesting proclivities toward picking herbs and little flowers and what Frank called weeds. And so she was out doing that one day, and she happened upon a circle of stones, and she went near them, and some buzzing occurred. And the next thing she knew, she was transported back into Scotland in the year 1743. So she went back in time, and then of course was very disoriented, and some people came upon her, and the rest kind of unfolds in the rest of the series. So I don't want to give too much away. If you haven't heard of this, I'm surprised, but I can see where you might not have. There's also an adaptation of it on Stars. I was not fond of them making an adaptation of it, but they did, and I would say I like it a lot. It does depart from the books, and it does frustrate me a little, but it stays pretty true, and I like the people that they cast, which was my biggest fear when they were talking about doing an adaptation. So book one is Outlander. I'm not going to go through the plot lines of each one, but it just goes through this whole journey. Book two is Dragonfly and Amber. I am in the process of rereading this. I am this far along. I'm on chapter 44, just a little bit to go. My friend is doing a read along with some other friends virtually, and so they're almost caught up to where I am in this book, and then I will begin to read with them Voyager, which is book number 3, which is a one that I haven't reread in a long time. So I had started rereading, and then I stopped, and then I now have started again. The fourth book is Drums of Autumn. If you follow the series, this was season 4, so they did cover this book. I do want another version of this because this is a book club version, so it's smaller, shorter in stature. So I would like to get a different copy of this one day, maybe one that matches. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm still glad that I have them all in hardback. They're pretty big, so it's a little bulky. I had to separate them on my desk. These freaking books all together weigh 23.6 pounds. Yes, I am a nerd, and yes, I weighed them. But seriously, all together stacked up 23.6 pounds. The next one is The Fiery Cross, which is where we are now in season 5, I think. Is that what season we are? I think it is. Yeah, I think they go by the book. So season 5, The Fiery Cross, just started. Valentine's night it was released. The next one is A Breath of Snow and Ashes, which is the most foiled of all the covers, so it makes it hard. I did finish that one. So thus far, I have read 6 of these books all the way through. Then came An Echo in the Bone, and you may have seen a previous video that I did. I got this for my birthday, whatever year it came out, and it's been a good while now. This one came out in 2009. So I got it in September of 2009, and I started to read it, and I was sort of struck by, so first of all, it takes her several years to get another book out. And by several, I mean, I don't even know. I'm going to tell you in a minute how long it's been. And so I had forgotten what happened in The Fiery Cross and in A Breath of Snow and Ashes. And so I stopped because I just couldn't. And I said, well, I need to reread. And then, of course, these are ridiculous to reread. I'm hoping that my friend Lisa's little group is going to really motivate me to get these done. I think our plan is to get them all done by the time that we think her next release is going to be out later this year. We'll see whether that happens or not. And the last one that is current in this series is Written in My Own Heart's Blood. Have not even started this one, but have it. You may have seen from my intro, one of my intro pictures of one of my bookcases. That one is featured prominently. I also have a couple of these short novellas in the Lord John series. Lord John is one of the characters. These are tinier mysteries. I have one or two on ebook as well. I like these. They're nice and short comparatively. And Lord John is not my favorite character in the series, but I like him enough that I do keep picking these up when I can. I just don't have them all in hardback. Will I one day do that? Probably. And then her next novel that is, I think Lisa said, releasing in September, but I'm not going to hold my breath, is Tell the Bees I'm Home. And I had the brilliant privilege of seeing her live at Comic-Con last January in New Orleans, not this, but last January 2019, and a panel of people from the show. And she alone, look, I have a hole in my sweater too, goodness. She alone did a presentation and a reading from that novel and talked about how long it takes her to finish one of these, and obviously they're terribly long. So Written in My Own Heart's Blood was released in 2014 and it's 2020. So that's how long it's been since she's had a new release out. That's maybe even longer than ever before, but I think that Go Tell the Bees I'm Home is the last one, which is really hard for me to fathom. And I also realized there are 9 of the Lord John novels or novellas. I don't have all 9 of those. And then there are also 3 other Outlander related novellas, A Leaf on the Wind of All Hallows, which I think I did read from my library, The Space Between, and Virgins. That's a lot of books. So if you have nothing else to do but read, I really recommend Diana Gabaldon. If you love historical fiction, if you love great detail and dense novels with lots of other sub-stories and subplots, you will love these books. I have never really felt like there was too much in them. I have, though, felt like it was too much now to read in one gulp. But having said that, when they first came out, I did devour them. I clearly remember this memory. I finished Outlander. I couldn't wait to get to the next book. And those of you who have read this will understand my cryptic way of telling you this story. I went to register for classes for the next semester. I had a break. I went to the bookstore. I bought Dragonfly and Amber. I picked it up and opened it and started to read the first chapter and freaked out. Freaked out. I won't tell you why. It took me a bit, and it took a lot of courage for me to read it because I was very angry with what she had done. And my daughter had the same experience, and I don't think she ever went back and finished. But I don't know if she's going to read them or finish them or not, but she watches the series, and I think she's fine with that now. But it is sometimes very difficult to rationalize why she would make choices about certain characters and events and things that happen. But she is a masterful storyteller, great detail, a great researcher. It's what she has done almost all of her life in another way. She was a scientist of some kind, as I recall, and lovely writing, great style, but again, not for the faint of heart. You really need to be committed, and it's not for everybody, I have discovered. And most of the time when I recommend it to people, they love this series and they read them over and over again. So there's that. They can destroy you. You can throw them across the room. You can decide you're not going to carry on, and usually you do. I hope you will take a look if you haven't already, or of course, comment below and let me know if you love Diana Gabaldon, if you've read all of these books, and which ones are your favorites and what you're looking forward to. No spoilers for anybody else, please. And gosh, wouldn't the complete series take a lot of time if you started from book 1 to end? I wonder how long that would take. But we shall see if I can get this caught up and get on track with these this year. I'm going to leave lots of space for the months that I'm reading these now. And I think I am really committed to this. I think this is a project I'm really getting behind this year. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I hope you have a very, very happy reading day. Bye.